He uses acrylic paints and Braille to create thought-provoking artwork. Errol Panton Keene II is here to share his story and his motivation. Good morning. Welcome to Smile Jamaica. It's morning time, Errol.
Good morning. Thank you.
How are you doing?
A little nervous, but
You're going to be good. Talk to me about the work. First of all, what inspired you to use Braille in your work?
all right. Doing arts, one of the greatest fears you have is probably going blind or like losing your hands or something.
Yeah.
So from high school, I always thought about trying to include like tactile elements into art, and then I said, why not use Braille? So I just started from there.
So how does it work? Do you understand Braille, or do you get someone who understands it to say, well, this is how you have to form the patterns?
So during my research, I actually went to the Salvation Army School for the Blind and just kind of learned a little Braille there, and also internet's there, so internet research. But for like transcribing large bodies of text, I actually use an online translator.
Wow, and then it will tell you what the Braille will be.
Yes.
So when you say you use Braille, it's not just on it in terms of a texture. Does the Braille actually say something on the art?
Yes. The Braille actually, I use poems and little messages and stories and incorporate them into the art itself.
Into the art.
So my goal is to have the visually impaired and blind community be able to interact with art and have a whole like hidden understanding of the artwork that we can't understand.
Wow. So we're looking at it, and we're going to be seeing it a little bit later on and reading some of the Braille. So the piece that you illustrate, that you draw, the Braille is directly tied into whatever that is. So if I'm reading it, it will give me an idea of that this is what this artwork represents.
Definitely.
All right, so let's talk about the art first before I get back to the Braille. What inspires the art?
All right, so
Looks a little Afro.
yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
So I take inspiration from Afrofuturism and also social realism. So Afrofuturism is a art style that kind of, as it says, Afrofuturism. So it draws inspiration from Africa. So like different colors and different themes.
Yeah.
And then it makes it modernized. So like spaceships and like very sci-fi.
Yeah. Black Panther, eh?
Yes.
And that was so popular with movie fans, and so the artwork will as well. So it's a lot of Yoruba
and
Akan.
Akan culture. I used to use Yoruba and Akan like themes. So like the Yoruba orishas, I like to use that in my works thematically.
Nice.
Yeah.
You went to Edna?
Yes.
Yeah. What did you specialize in?
I specialized in visual communication, BFA in visual communication with illustration. And so that basically means I can draw pretty well.
And you can draw commercially, so you can do illustrations.
Definitely. So like book illustration and editorial illustrations as well. Yeah.
Nice. Where did this come from? This passion for art and this inspiration to do art, this talent?
I guess the passion came from when I was like really little. My mom always says that I used to like take little stickers and draw them like huge, humongous. So I always used to draw.
Yeah. Wonderful. So we're going to show the viewers in a little bit just how the Braille translates on some of the work. And we have here, we have the work, and then we have the panels. I find the panels interesting.
Yes.
Because just the shape of it alone. Talk to me about the panel. Well, this piece of work here, let's start with this, since this is what we have. Yeah.
Okay. So this one, I did this last year during a art residency at the Grosvenor Gallery, the Black Mango Art Residency. It's open now, so if you want to, you should apply. But this is actually about, it's a very touchy topic, especially in Jamaica, especially now what's happening with our young women. But it's about coercion. So a lot of people don't give enough
thought to
it, exactly, and like how you as a man or as a woman are interacting and how it might not be okay. So the transcript, the Braille text is actually a story from a friend of mine and her experience, her first experience. And it's a little troubling and a little personal
Yeah.
So
But it's a story that must be told.
It's a story that must be told, exactly.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't get to tell it. That's interesting because silence is one of the things that we have to combat in order to address certain issues.
Exactly.
And you're making sure that if you can't say it vocally, but then it's said here.
Here, exactly.
Yeah, that's a powerful thing to do. Wonderful. So I want to head over to the painting to your left.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about that one.
It is under the same theme, theme. So the reason why she has all these mushrooms kind of growing out of her
and floating.
And floating, exactly. It's it looks pretty, but at the same time, it's kind of grotesque. So it's about the same theme about how these different scenarios, how it can affect us long term.
Yeah. And physically, so it doesn't manifest itself physically, but the mushrooms, I guess, get us to look at the ways in which mentally and emotionally it pours out of us. Yeah. And so when you read the Braille on that, is that a story as well?
It is also a story.
It is also a story.
It is a story from another friend of mine. So I interviewed some females that I know personally, and I incorporated their stories into
it as well. All right, so let's walk to the front of the set. Yes. I wanted to talk about the panels. Tell me a little bit about these.
All right, so
they look. Once I look at them, the shape, everything on it says Africa. Yeah, so tell me about it, Errol.
So this is when I was really into Afrocentrism. Yeah. I still am, but I was really into it because looking at yourself, looking at Jamaica, we see ourselves as black, we see ourselves as African, but which African?
Yeah, do we understand what that means?
Do we understand what that means, exactly? So it's about journey. So the Braille text is actually a poem that I wrote, kind of questioning my ancestry and trying to find out where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So it's about the whole journey to find out where exactly are. Because West Africa, it might sound small, but it's huge.
Huge.
There are a bunch of different...
We talk about Africa like it's a country, but it's a continent.
It's a continent, exactly. The amount of cultures and peoples and different distinct groups that are in West Africa alone, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
So to say that, oh yes, we're just African, but which Africa? Where we're coming from exactly?
I like the blend of so you're blending your poetry with your art, with Braille,
with stories,
with storytelling. It's nice. It's like a nice blend of artistry, and we're looking at the ones now. What do you use to put the Braille on, though?
All right, it is painstaking. All right, my whole process involves a hole puncher, cardboard, rulers, and days of meticulous placement.
So we have one of the poems. It says, "My skin is dark and loud, the memories of my face locked in each cell, a constant reminder of a place forgotten, a time some call history." And that's on...
It's on this one here, the first one.
This one here. That's what it says.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice, Errol. Where are we taking the art from here?
From here, I actually have a project in the works. So hopefully by the end of this year, I'll have a next exhibition out.
Next exhibition.
So 2017, 2018, 2019. It's coming.
And so people want to see the work now?
Oh, if they want to see the work, they can actually find me on Instagram. It's Keen Eyes, so it's Keen, Keane .EYES. So it's kind of a little play on words. So Keen Eyes
on Instagram. So look out for him, and please support the work. It's fantastic.
Yes, please support.
It's fantastic. Boy, I tell you, Jamaican people are super talented, and I don't know if it's anywhere else in the world, but I have personally never seen a blend of artistry like this. The visual, the poems, everything together. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
it's
brilliant. What I want people who are visually impaired and sighted to be able to come together and experience art in a completely different way.
Yeah. Nice. Wonderful meeting you. Acrylic painter, illustrator, poet, just all-round artist, Errol Panton Keane II. When we return, your favorite time on our favorite time of day with your favorite girls. It's almost time for girl talk, but we're touching on a topic that's a little more serious than usual. So, hurry up and come. We're going to a break.